Hi friends, today we're making a watercolor floral arrangement through step-by-step instruction. But first, let's see the whole project in fast motion. Okay, you're going to start with your tiny brush and dip it in the orange. We're going to make the vase, so you're going to do a curved line on one side. This is about in the middle of the paper, and a curved line on the other side. Then I'm dipping it in the red, and I'm going to make a line at the bottom. And a line at the top. Now we're going to make this just a little bit thicker on this side. Dipping it in the red. Kind of looks like a little orangey red. We're still using the red, and we're going to make the top part a little thicker too. Okay, now we're going to add red down this side, go right on top of the yellow. And you see I'm just moving my brush side to side. Little brush stroke side to side. I'm going to skip a space over here so that it looks like a reflection, like that. I'll wipe my brush off for a second. And we're going to go ahead and pick up our big brush and dip it in the yellow. Now I'm going to put that yellow, I'm going to let it touch right on the edge of the red at the top and down the side where the orange is. Then we're going to add some of that yellow on the other side as well. We're letting it touch on top of the red color, and it blends a little bit, and that looks nice. I'm going to leave those two little white reflections alone. I'll put a little bit down here. You notice that the center is still white. I'm going to wipe my brush a little bit and then just dip it right in the water. And then I'm just going to wet the middle. It's just going to turn a very pale yellow in the center. And that gives it the effect of a reflection on the vase. Okay, now you're going to dip your brush, the big brush, right in the orange. You can wipe a little bit off, you just need a little bit. And then we're going to start on the edge and pull towards the center. Just need a little bit for this part. Just going to spread it out a little on these sides. And then you can take a dab of water and make it look a little more blended. So it's not so dark there by just dabbing some of that water on from your wet brush onto the edges. Now I just dipped my brush back in the water and I'm spreading out a little bit of yellow, using some yellow. Make it look like a reflection or a shadow on the ground underneath the vase. Notice my lines are jagged, kind of like zigzag. Don't want it to look like a solid shape. Now I'm putting a little bit of the red right on top of the yellow, and then we put some red off to the other side of the vase. You notice I left that space in the middle alone because I'm going to put a little bit of purple in there. That'll be the darkest part of my shadow. And I'm just going side to side. And it's okay if the colors bleed into each other. That's part of using watercolors and it looks nice. Just spreading that out a little bit. I don't want it to pool too much. Okay, good. Now we're going to pick up our little brush again. Just give it a wipe. And we're going to dip it in the yellow. Okay, now we all know how to make a circle, but these circles are not going to be perfectly round. They're more like little curved lines in a round shape. Notice that none of them are connecting. See? These are going to be our flowers. So see how I start the shape of a circle, but they're not really connecting. Just makes it look more natural, like a flower. All the different petals, they go around. And you can place yours, you can try and place yours where I am placing mine, or you can put your flowers in different places on your picture. Ours can all look different. So I'm just going to go around. I am going to save a little space because we are going to fit some other flowers and leaves in between these main flowers of the picture. So I'll put another one over here. Definitely don't overthink the flowers. Just take a look at it and see where your eye wants to put one, and go ahead and use your little brush strokes and curved lines to place your flowers. And we'll put one more right here. Okay. Now I'm going to dip my brush in the orange. And I'm going to be doing that same thing, those same brush strokes, but now I'm going to be putting orange in between the yellow. You can let it touch the yellow. We want some of the yellow to show, so I'm just kind of scattering this in around each of the flowers. Okay? Not too much. I don't want the whole flower to turn orange. I want there to just be all these different shades in the flower. It'll look really pretty. So I'm just gonna, and you can leave some white spaces too, like I'm doing here. I'm just gonna leave some white, leave some yellow, and then put in some orange. And like on this flower, I just put orange mainly at the bottom and there was more yellow at the top. Some of your flowers could be more yellow, some could be more orange. But you're just going to do this with each flower. I'm just using a little bit of paint. I don't want it to be too drippy. Definitely don't want any drip marks. And these tiny brushes don't hold a lot of paint anyway. But just keep trying your best. You're doing a good job. We still have another color we're going to add into these flowers. So by the time we do the next color, you'll be a pro at this. Okay. Wiping my brush a little bit. And then I'm going to dip it into the red. And I'm going to add a little bit of red onto all of these flowers. And I'm still leaving some white spaces. So with the red, I'm really not adding as much color onto the flowers as the other two. It's just little accents of red. Okay, now I'm going to wipe my brush off and we're going to dip it into the purple. We're going to make a different type of flower. So for this, you're just going to kind of dab, dab, dab. And there, it's a longer looking flower. Dab, dab, dabbing. We're just going to try and tuck these in between the big flowers. And again, you can put yours exactly where I'm putting mine, or you can place yours someplace different if you'd like. These long flowers are just going to go in between, just like that. And I'm just dabbing. Put a few in the middle here too. And then how about one down here coming out the bottom? And on this side too. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush off again. And let's dip it in the yellow. Okay. I'm going to add a little yellow in a few places. I'm going to be adding green on top of it to make it a leaf. We'll just place some yellow a few different places. All right, now we're going to dip it in the green. And then I'm going to make a leaf right on top of that yellow. We're just going to blend the green on top of it. It's going to make a nice green color. Do the same thing over here. Just be careful not to get the green on top of the flower, so take your time. And another one right over here. I like to outline it first and then fill it in. And we're just putting that green right on top of the yellow. Okay, so now we're just going to dip it in the green without yellow and make ourselves a leaf that's just hanging down here on the side from the flower, and then fill it in. See how it's a different shade of green because we didn't have that yellow underneath it? So it's just giving some variation in color, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. We'll make a little droopy leaf hanging down. And you'll also notice that the color changes if you don't have a lot of paint on your brush. If it's more watery, it's not as dark. But when you put another layer and it's more concentrated, then you'll get a darker color green. Okay. Now I'm just going to make some lines, just kind of shooting up here and there. And some peeking out from the back of the flowers. And you can place yours wherever you want. Just put some. Put one right here. I'll put another leaf up there. Tuck another leaf up at the top behind the yellow flower. And then just kind of look anywhere you see a space that maybe you want to put another leaf. Go ahead and fill it in. This spot is a good filler for another green leaf. And then again, you see some of them are lighter because I don't have as much paint on my brush now. Or even if you want them lighter, you could just add water to your brush so that you have all different shades of green leaves. Just take a look at it, see where you think you need some more paint. Okay, and now I'm dipping my brush in the purple, and I'm just adding a few little dots in the center of my flower. A few little dots. We're at the home stretch here. You guys are doing great. So just a few little purple clusters of dots. And then I'm going to put a few little clusters of dots at the top of some of these green lines we made. Not on all of them, just on a few. And then the last thing I'm going to do is initial it. First letter of my first name, first letter of my last name, right there on the side. So go ahead and make any touch-ups you need to on your painting. Don't forget to initial it. I can't wait to see yours, and I hope you had fun with this project. Have a great day. Bye.